here for training in listen. Is my English is beautiful. Is small.
All right. Welcome to Talk and Talk. Cosme, as I said, is your first time here with us, and I hope you improve your English with us talking about technology. All right. So, Eduardo, can you introduce yourself?
Yes. Hello, everyone. My name is Eduardo Nunes. I am 30 years old. I born in Jacarezinho, Paraná, but for now I am living in Portugal. In Portugal, I am working as a machine learning engineer, and also I am taking a PhD in the informatics. And my free times or my hobbies is soccer, play tennis, play soccer. I am stay here with you to improve my English. Okay.
Okay. And what about you, Josiah? Can you introduce yourself?
Yes. My name is Josiah. I'm from Angola. I'm married. I'm 29 years old. And yeah, I have been here on TALK since 2021. And it has been a very good experience. Yeah.
All right. And Henna, can you introduce yourself?
Sure. Well, I'm Henna. I'm 31 years old. I'm software developer. Now I'm working as a team leader. I was born in Paraná, Brazil, but now I'm living in Rio de Janeiro. I'm living in Niterói city. My free time, I like to play soccer, video games, watch videos on YouTube. That's it.
All right. And Everton, good evening. Can you introduce yourself, please?
Good evening. I'm Everton. I'm 29 years old. I'm from Rio de Janeiro. I work as a user experience researcher at Globo. And currently, I just want to improve my English because I have the dream to one day work in an international company. And now I'm living with my wife, my kids, and also my 3 dogs and 3 cats. I have a big house with a lot of animals here. And that's it. I also like to play soccer, video games, and I like to swim as well.
All right. So now it's my time to introduce. So my name is Josiah. I'm 19. I work as backend developer and study software engineering at the university. And my free time, I like to play and watch soccer too, study English, and I like to rent street too. So guys, as we are in 7 participants here, I will split us in small groups to make the conversation flow better. So I would like to someone copy the questions because you need to paste it on the chat if you cannot see it at the breakout rooms. All right, so I will split you in small groups, and I hope to see all of you at the end of the meeting here again. All right, so please let me open the room. That's it. So guys, right now you can enter at the breakout room. All right. So Everton, let's start with the question number 1. So was your childhood dream to work with IT? When did you start thinking about working in IT?
Well,
just one question. Can you see the questions on the chat?
No, I can't see it.
So I will send again.
Thanks. Okay,
Oh,
your childhood dream to work with an IT. Oh, it wasn't my childhood dream because when I was a kid, I was a swimmer. So my dream was to be in Olympic Games, to become an athlete and something like this. But when I was in high school, I started to study about IT. I was doing a course of programming, so I started to introduce myself in this kind of environment. After this, I said to myself, no, I don't want to work with this because I didn't like algorithms and language programming, and I decided to change the field. So I went to the biology university. I
Yeah.
started to study biology. And then I said to myself again, no, I don't want to work with this because it's pretty interesting, but I'm not going to make money with this. The only option that I have is to become a professor, a teacher. So I decided to change again, and I went to the social communication university, and I started to learn more about research and design as well. And then I decided to introduce myself in the field of UX design, and I started to learn more about this. And finally, I got my first internship as a UX researcher at Passei Direto, which was a company focused on university students sharing a platform where students could share their materials and things like this. And that's it. That's how my career in IT started.
Well, okay. Thank you for sharing with us. And what about you, Cosme? Was your childhood dream to work with IT? When did you start thinking about working in IT?
and my dream in work.
Yeah, when you are a kid, do you like to work with IT?
I sorry, I'm no, understand.
Okay, so when you the second question, when did you start thinking about working in IT? If you cannot understand, you can translate and to understand
Please,
better.
please translate.
So quando você começou a querer trabalhar com TI?
Oh, um, I'm saying I have an channel in YouTube and football player, and I need understand language of technology. Oh my God.
No
As,
problem.
as palavras não vêm.
No problem. Go ahead.
Especializar mais em. Nossa, as palavras não vêm. Eu tento puxar as palavras, mas não vêm.
No problem.
Mas é basicamente isso.
Okay, thank you for sharing.
Sorry.
No problem, no problem.
Perfect.
So, my childhood dream, of course, was not working with IT. My childhood dream was to be a soccer player, as I think a lot of kids here in Brazil. But definitely, I've not the the competence to be a soccer player. So during the high school, I started thinking about do engineering course, but I don't know exactly how I would like to do. And at the end of the high school, I meet the software engineering university. So I do the enter exam to start the university. And right now I'm studying it. I during the high school, I find some programming language, start to study it, and because I like, for example, logic problems, and I starting to study it. And thanks good at the end of the high school, I find a university course that I can follow with the things that I like to study. It's a little bit about how I start to study and work with IT. And I start to work at the my vacations of the first year of the university as internship. So I find at the first year of the university an internship to work as backend developer. And that's it. So let's move on to the question number 2. So Cosme, what led you to pursue a career in information technology?
What lead you pursue is signification, to pursue a career.
O que te motiva, né?
Oh,
A seguir, né? na TI?
oh, mas is better my vocabulary, understand, listening is zero, zero, and training better, and crescer no YouTube, tentar crescer mais no YouTube. E mais ou menos isso. Melhorar meu listening, my speak, my conhecimento que eu não...
All right. So, and what about you, Everton? What led you to pursue a career in information technology?
Well, when I was in the social communication university, I started to have some contact with design, graphic design, and I started to read a lot of articles about UI design, which is user interface design. And I thought it was an interesting field, and I started to study to get into this field. So I started to learn more about UI design, UX design, and also the high salaries associated with these professions. So I decided to study more to get into this field. And that's it. I said, oh, that's a good opportunity because it's a thing that I like. I really liked the technology. I was also a person who was very interested in technology. And when I could just merge the technology with design, which are things that I really like, I really decided to choose this path because it was something that could make me feel better while I was working, you know?
Yeah.
And as I said, I work as a user experience research. So currently I'm doing a lot of research to improve design in the platforms and to understand more about people behavior so I can merge this knowledge about technology, design, and also human behavior to create great products for people. So it's a very satisfactory career for me, you know?
Yes, exactly. And to me, it's the same. It's so common. We see, for example, at the TV that we have a lot of opportunity to work with IT. We have a lot of jobs, a lot of opportunities in the IT marketing. It's easy in some terms to find a job when you work with IT compared with another areas. So it lead me to pursue in a career in IT. But of course, I start to study it because I like to solve logic problems. At the college, I like, for example, at the high school, I love math because you always solve a lot of problems. And of course, when I find a course that we study exactly it. We just solve problems when we are working with IT. I find a job that I can do the things that I like to study. So it led me to pursue in this area. That's it. So let's move on to the next topics. So the question number 3. So at the beginning of your career, what challenge did you face in the IT sector? Let me start answering this. I think at the beginning, the hardest part is that we have a lot of content at the internet, but sometimes it's hard to find what exactly you need to watch. For example, when you enter at the YouTube, you have a lot of material, but it's not organized and you don't have a logic path for you keep studying. All right. So I think that it this point it's bad for when a person that it's a beginner. So we have a lot of content, but it's not exactly good for a person that is starting. And what just to explain, I saw that you are in 4 persons at the breakout room, but right now you are in 3, Eduardo, Nunes, and Henna. So I bring you again to us for we talk. All right, that's it. So Everton, can you answer the question number 3? At the beginning of your career, what challenge did you face in the IT sector?
Well, I think the first challenge was to understand the roles of each person. When I went to the technology field, I had to understand what is a front-end engineer, a back-end engineer, and also a product manager, and a lot of different roles that I was not used to work with, because before it, I only have worked with as an administrative assistant, so I had to learn so many things and to understand more about the metrics, the words that the people were talking about, like the metrics, like lifetime value and cost for acquisition, things like this. So I had to understand a little bit more of these metrics associated with the experiences and also the business, and also understand the roles of each person. So this was a challenge for me.
Yes. That's happening, I think, with everybody, because we have in IT a lot of paths to follow. But to understand exactly what's the difference between one path and another role, it's hard. And as I said, we have a lot of content, and sometimes we don't know what exactly I need to study. So Jenemis, right now we are in the question number 3. So everybody can see the questions on the chat. All right. So Jenemis, can you answer the question number 3? At the beginning of your career, what challenge did you face in the IT sector?
Okay, the problem was having a small salary, half minimum salary. To have a good salary opportunity, it was necessary move for a big city, large center, something I never wanted. Another great difficulty was find someone to help me with the challenges of profession. Is a big challenge for me.
All right. And Henna, what do you think?
Well, for me, all the challenges was the people. When I was initiating all my career, it was the people, because I had a senior developer above me, and sometimes when I asked for help, they didn't help me, so it was a little bit frustrating. It's I don't know, it's why they refuse to help me, and I think that's not the way to support or junior developers. So nowadays I am a leader, and I am always helping my juniors developers. So I think that's the way, that was my challenge in the beginning of my career.
All right. And what about you, Cosme? At the beginning of your career, what challenge did you face in the IT sector?
And translator, please.
No início da sua carreira, quais foram os desafios, os principais
Okay,
desafios?
Very, very difficult money. Muito. And investing in the material, in the and little money, small money, and in class in English, in difficult, very, very difficult. And his course is free, is very good. E pretendo melhorar cada vez mais por aqui, mas a dificuldade maior sempre é o dinheiro. Desculpa, ainda tô.
No problem.
Okay, please. Thank you.
And what about you, Eduardo? What challenges did you face?
Yes. In my field is very complicated because nowadays is a buzzword, artificial intelligence. And I remember I started in 2018. So some colleagues or some professors or some clients thought that artificial intelligence is like magic. So we can some data. Okay, with some data, what value what value can we get? Okay, so this to explain that artificial intelligence wasn't that like magic is very, very complicated, and the people in the other field. And also in my beginning my career about the publication papers. So I didn't know to write a scientific paper, so it was very hard for me.
Yeah. You are talking about doing research.
Yes. And because my beginning my career, it was for example master degree, but the company where I was working is about the research also. So sometimes we needed publication some papers, for example.
Yeah, I got it. Okay, I think everybody already have answered the question number 3. So right now you can move on. So Henna, what do you find most rewarding about working with IT?
Well, in my case, to change all the people's life, because I'm working right now with telemedicine. It's important. It was important on the pandemic times, and it has been important today. For me, with IT, with all the kinds of technology, it's reward.
I cannot hear you, Henna.
I too.
Okay, so let's move on. Janemis, can you answer? What do you find most rewarding about working with IT?
Repeat, please.
What do you find most rewarding about working with IT? The question number 4.
For work from home is cool. Work from home with my children and see them raw. No need to take traffic, big traffic, and the freedom for travel in a lot of places. And that's it.
All right. In my case, I think the most rewarding is that we can work in anywhere, and every day we have usually different problems to solve. It's not a repetitive work, right? You don't do the same time every day as other jobs. Of course, you probably program every day, but it's not all the time the same challenge. Every day you have different challenges, so you don't do repetitive works. Every day you are doing something different. You are trying to solve different problems, and I think it probably motivates you to keeping working with IT. So, Henna, can you talk right now?
Can you hear me?
All right, I can hear you. So
It's
you
number
can go ahead.
number 4.
Yeah, you can finish your answer.
Yeah, just it. I can change the people's life with my job. I think technology is very, very important to change the people's life.
All right. So, and what about you, Cosme?
What do you translate think most rewarding?
Yes. O que você acha que é mais gratificante trabalhando com TI?
Wow. I think and work your people and your work your people oh speak no
No problem.
I like and I know work in exactly the IT, né? But help me in work em outro setor, né? Me ajuda no trabalho em outra situação. And know exactly in work in TI, in IT.
Okay. And what about you, Eduardo?
Like Genemis said about for example, the home office, né? And you can work from home with your children, with your wife. Another thing, in my opinion, when the project it's working, but because some projects and can be we want working or want impossible to execute, for example. So, but when a project we finish a project and working, it's working. It's very I am very happy it's happening about it. For example, another thing about for now, yes, for now about the salary, my opinion, in this field, the IT is very valorization about the salary. That's it.
Okay, that's true. And what about you, Everton? What do you think?
Well, as Renan just said, it's just incredible to see our products changing people's lives. So that's a very rewarding thing working with IT. For example, in my first experience with IT, I could work with education, so I could see the product that I use it to work changing some the access of people. For example, in some regions that were they couldn't just reach high quality education course and things like this, so they could just use this online service to get more access and get more information about the things they wanted to study. In my second experience, I worked with telemedicine at Conexa Saúde. So it was a very rewarding experience for me because people were just using the product in the middle of the pandemic year, and people could just had some appointments with the doctors and understand how they could treat themselves and to take care about things and just to how to avoid the disease and things like this. And currently, in my experience at Global, it's very rewarding, for example, to work at Global Play, because recently, for example, I could talk with a lot of blind people to improve their experience in using the product. So we just started to work to improve the experience of the voice readers in the Global Play app, and we could just see the blind people using the product perfectly, and it was very rewarding to see their experience with our product. So the most rewarding thing is to change people's lives, so provide their access to technology and to make some improvements in their lives as well.
All right. So everybody already have answered this question. So let's move on to the question number 5. So Eduardo, what are the main skills you acquired since joining the IT field?
Okay. About the skills, about the communication. I learned the communication to explain my ideas, for example, and organization, because before after working, I didn't I wasn't about the organization, to, for example, to start to work in the 8 a.m. So I arrived at the local at work very late. Okay. Okay. Team, working with my team, collaborative working. Yeah. So before I start work, I was very individual. So I learned about learning to work in the collaborative in the team, and I during my work I found I like to learn the entry people. For example, when a person or when the researcher that started to work in, I like to learn it. For example, you can read about this topic, and so to learn the new peoples in my company, for example. That's it. Yeah.
All right. In my case, I think it's the same. I think the main skill that I acquired is to work with a team. Because, for example, in the high school, I usually liked to do the works alone. But when you work with IT, you need to work with a team, and you learn how to work with other people around you. So I think it's the main skill that I acquired. Other skills, I think maybe divide big problems in small problems and try to solve the small problems first. And another thing is that we need to be able to improve our abilities every day and learn something new. Try to learn something new every day, because we work with technology, and the technology it's changing every day. So we need to be up to date. You need to try to learn something new every day. So I think it's one skill that in another areas it's not common. I think in other areas persons don't try to study every day, but in IT we are forced to improve our abilities every day. So I think that's it. And what about you, Everton?
Well, what are the main skills you acquired since joining the IT field? Oh, I think the first skill, the main skill that I had to acquire is to learn to speak with people, learn to negotiate with a lot of different people. For example, I used it to work as a UX researcher, and many times in the companies, I was the only UX researcher at the company. So I had to prove the value of my work. I had to convince people about giving me money to make some research, to interview people, to understand the user behaviors. So I had to develop this kind of negotiation skills to convince people that my work was going to be relevant to change the experience of the products. And I also used it to be a very shy person. So as a user researcher, I have to talk with a lot of different users. So I have to improve this kind of ability because I needed to talk with the people. And that's it. I think conversation, negotiation, were the skills that became most relevant for me and the things that I had to develop during my career. And I'm also learning every day how to talk with business people, how to convince them, because each person has a different way of interpret information to understand what we want to share with them. So it's a day-to-day learning, and we have to always keep improving, keep learning, and always improve this side of ourselves, this negotiation side.
Yes, yes. Uh, and what about you, Cosme? What are the main skills you acquired since joining the IT field?
Um, understand and question.
Uh,
Are the main skills you acquired?
quais as principais habilidades que você desenvolveu?
Ah, desde que conheci o TI,
Yes, that's it.
Ok. Ability is more, very. Acostumar mais com o computador, que eu sou completamente leigo sobre isso. Yes. I don't is warm is here.
No problem.
What? Então, as palavras não vêm, meu Deus. Is pula, que eu não estou conseguindo achar as palavras que eu quero falar.
If you want, you can talk in Portuguese. No problem.
Ok. Eu desenvolvi mais um entendimento da máquina, né, do computador, alguma coisa ou outra, saber lidar um pouco mais com aplicativos que eu tinha dificuldade. Então, como eu expliquei, eu não sou muito do TI mesmo, né? Então, acho que me ajudou bastante entender mais de como desenvolver algumas coisas, como design, fazer algum tipo de desenho de capa de vídeo, esse tipo de coisa mais para YouTube mesmo.
All right. I am with a problem in my camera, so sometimes I will stop my video, but let's move on. So let me see the Henna, can you answer the question?
Sure. Well, for me, it's about communication. I improved a lot my communication since I'm working as a team leader with IT. Don't know about the logical reasoning. I think it's very, very important on IT. And about the English, I'm learning English and I'm learning to talk with another people. And I think this is important a lot with when we are talking about working on IT.
All right. And what about you, Janemis?
Okay, I learn communication is very necessary in this area because it's important to know explain your ideas and say that you understand to not have a noise in communication. Resilience and the ability to solve problems. Study hard. I learned to study more effectively because in IT area, a lot of content, a lot of subjects, a lot of language programmation, and you need more effective.
Yes, we need to study a lot of tools sometimes, and you need to study fast because we need to use it on the job, for example. And sometimes we haven't a lot of time during the day to study. So I think right now everybody already have answered the question, so we can move on to the question number 6. All right, so Everton, what advice would you give someone interested in pursuing a career in IT?
Well, never stop learning, it's something that we all are used to do in the IT field. We have to learn every time because there are always so many new technologies emerging and new topics and things like this. So I would recommend the people to never stop learning, and also to show their work, because sometimes we don't like to make this kind of work to present our works and things like this. But I think it's pretty important to share your experience. For example, if you can write a blog post about your experience in a company, in a project that you have done recently, I think the best way to get this content that you are always learning fresh in your mind is to write things and share your experience with other people. So this way you are going to share with the community what you have learned, and also make some people learn more about this field, because sometimes it's pretty difficult to get information about some specific topics in our fields, and a lot of the time we only find English content, and if we share our content in Portuguese or even in English, we are going to learn more and we are going to help more people. So you have to learn and also share your learning process and things like that.
Yes, I agree. I think probably learn English. It's one of the best advice because you can, of course, find more content in English than in Portuguese. So one advice is to study English as we are doing right now. Maybe find a roadmap that you can follow, because sometimes watch a lot of videos in YouTube that it's not organized in a path. It's good. You can learn, but probably it's not the more efficient method to learn. So I think to find a roadmap that you can find the content that you need to learn, it's a good advice too. And expose what you are learning. As Everton said, for example, in LinkedIn, you can share what you are studying, what projects you are doing, even your personal projects, or maybe some projects at the university you can share too. I think it's good ways to to share your evolution in a IT field. And what do you think, Jeremy?
Oh, I believe the person study the basic topics study well. Algorithms, data structure, uh, design patterns, tests, and for the most advanced study about architecture of systems. And the most important then study is practice. Practice is very, very important because the study is theoretic and the practice is training. Training is theoretic study, and if for advanced studies, English is very important for this.
Yes, and I think maybe share, try to teach someone what you are learning. It's a good way to see if you are really learning in the practice, all right, when you share what you are learning with other people. And what do you think, Henna?
Well, for me, I think my advice would be focused and be resilient because IT is not easy. IT is hard sometimes, and sometimes you will think in giving up to all the your work, but sometimes IT is all about resilience and all about to keep working. And also another advice would be you must not you shouldn't stop learning. It's a very, very important advice because on IT we have to study sometimes every day, and it's very, very important to keep studying, to keep understanding all the new features, all the new frameworks that show up in your front all the day.
Yes. And what about you, Cosme? What do you think?
What question?
The question number 6.
What advice? Oh,
Que dica você daria para alguém que está iniciando?
Resilience. And very, very resilience is no easy, is very difficult, mas recompensador in the end.
Yeah, that's totally true. And to finish, what do you think, Everton?
Oh, I just said before the advice that I would give for someone pursuing a career in IT. I said never stop learning and also share your learning paths and learning process with people writing articles and blogs and things like this.
Yes, I think Eduardo already have answered. All right. Yeah. All right. Go ahead.
No problem. As you said, guys, the first one, my opinion, in the English, it's very important. And Jean said about the roadmap, it's very important. It's following a roadmap and always be studying because the technologies are always changing, and that's it.
All right. So guys, I am with some problem here in my camera, but still, unfortunately, we haven't more time to keep answering the questions. But I hope to see all of you at the next weeks for we keep talking about technology. And I would like to all of you answer the survey about this topic if you like or dislike, and share another ideas to us talk about at the next weeks. All right, about technology. So in this survey, you can share your experience here in this meeting and what about you'd like to talk at the next weeks. All right, that's it
Right.
for today, and I hope see all of you at the next weeks here again to talk about technology. That's it, guys. Good night.
Thank you. Good night.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Good night. Thank